Hello. Right. Yep, I know it's more of this. I will do a different one tomorrow. Oh dear. Oh, I wonder where he came from, where he fell out from. Well, all I can say is, what a flipping night I had last night. Can't believe it. I went to sleep around about... what time did I go to sleep? Good question. I think it was about 1 o'clock. And I went to sleep and I was out cold. And then I woke up and I went, oh, morning already, because I felt like I'd actually slept, which was incredible. And I thought, oh God, morning already. Oh no. So I reached for my phone. Didn't think anything of it. And I, there we are. And what did I do? I reached for my phone and I was scrolling through Facebook, and this sort of this post came up, and it was one of these novel reads or whatever it was, you know. I thought, oh, okay, just, you know, let's have a laugh at this. And I read it and I was hooked. And then I looked at the time. It was like 2 o'clock, 2:30. And I was like, oh, for bloody hell. I'd only been asleep for about an hour or so, an hour and a half. And there I was, and I'd already started reading this story by then. And I couldn't put it down. And then it stopped, and I went, oh, that was good. Why did it stop? And I was gutted. And I searched through the comments, and somebody had written what it was called, and I thought, oh, brilliant. So I hoped it wasn't going to be on one of those ones where you you know, where you end up having to pay for coins or whatever. You get so many reads, you know, a chapter a day and everything else. And I thought, I hope it isn't one of those. And I found it, and it was read it for free. And I went, oh, even better. So I caught up with my chapters, starting from 1 again, you know. Read it just to check that it was the same. And it kind of was the same, but it had more detail. So it wasn't the, you know, wasn't the abridged version or whatever it was. It wasn't one of those. And so I started reading it. It was chapter 42, and it was about 7 o'clock by the time I thought, I've got to have some kit. It's ridiculous. And so I dozed off, and then I woke up and I read some more. And oh my God, these two friends, right, it's called Love Unbreakable. Okay. Yeah, it's one of those type ones, but oh my God, it's so funny. And it's always the same format. It really is. Anyway, and these two friends, two girls, and they, Nicole and Reagan. Now, Reagan has been secretly married to this guy, Mitchell, for 2 years, but he has somebody from before that, but she's a bit deranged and she's supposed to be very ill, but she puts it on. So we think that she's not really ill, she's just pulling a fast one, and she's evil and personified, she really is. And Reagan found out she was pregnant, and it was all the ups and the downs and all the pain of dealing with Mitchell, as he would go off and spend time with this other girl called Lauren, and you know, and we're all hating her, and it's the family, and of course it's a rich family, and obviously, you know, it's done in like China or Asia. It has to be, even though it's English and some of the names obviously, you know, sound American style. It's not done there. It's done in it's like China, because they have some of the customs of China. And so you think, okay. And yeah, and I start reading it, and oh my God. And the grandmother died, and she called him. He went away on a business trip after they finally got back together again, after various things. And then while she went to visit her grandma in her nursing home, hospital type thing, the cousin of her partner, of her husband, came in, and she was basically Lauren's sidekick. So she did all the dirty work, and so, you know, the doctors had told Regan that her grandmother was basically not long for this world, and Tessa turned up. That's the cousin. She turned up, and she'd given she'd had all these other people around, and they were saying, "Oh, you've been a slag, and you've been doing this, that, and the other with other people's husbands." And they had photos to prove, apparently, but they were all photoshopped. And the grandmother looked at them, and she was like really hurt by them. And of course, all that didn't help, and basically, she died. And Lauren, before that point, had just phoned up after she was told by the doctors that you know, expect any day, basically. She'd phoned up Mitchell, who was on a business trip. Yeah, he was on a business trip, and so was bloody Lauren. Same business trip. And Lauren was really pulling a fast one. And apparently then Lauren got ill and was in ICU, but because they're loaded, she can, you know, afford to pay off people, you know, hospitals included and stuff. So because they also, in those hospitals abroad, they have all these private VIP rooms and things like that, floors and stuff. So anyway, yes, so Regan phoned up and said that her grandmother didn't have much time left, and she needed him back there with her, and he wouldn't do it, because he said, "Oh, Lauren's in the ICU and I can't leave her now. I'm the only person she's got that can, you know, she doesn't like being sat there, you know, on her own," whatever, which really hurt Regan. And so Regan said, "This is my grandmother, she's dying." And she did, and the grandmother was so excited because she was expecting to see Mitchell with Regan, obviously, before she died. And she bought a new dress, you know, or they got her a new dress, and, you know, grandmother was so looking forward to it. And of course, Mitchell became a twit, for want of a better word, and basically told Lauren she was being silly, and he didn't believe her. And Lauren was in hospital, in ICU, you know, and it was like, And then of course all that happened in the hospital room, nursing home room, of Tessa and the people having a right go at Lauren in front of her grandmother, and of course then her grandmother died from that. And in the extra stress and everything else, and that was that, you know. Lauren then had to arrange the funeral, and it had to be all quick and everything else, because that was the custom or something. And you just sort of, not Lauren, Regan, and you just sort of thought, oh God. And eventually he realised, when he'd asked, he tried phoning her, and she just didn't. She was in her grief. She was completely, because her grandmother was the only sort of relative that she had, you know, who loved her and everything else. And it was like very sad. And then she had her eyes opened, you know, to the fact that Mitchell was a twit, and that he would never leave, you know, Lauren to be with her. She would always take second place, even though he's the husband. Apparently he never went to bed or never did any of those things with Lauren. but it did with her because she got pregnant. And I've got to the point, page 83, where, well, from 80s, I was blubbering a wreck. I really was, because when the grandmother died and it was the funeral, and certain people had turned up to the funeral, you know, and it was like, smack the buggers. Why are they there? Oh, we wanted to come and show our whatever, says old Tessa and her mother. And it's like, well, that's like showing red rag to bull, isn't it? You know, because as far as Reagan's concerned, you were the witch that, you know, made her death hurried on. So yeah. And oh, Luciana, which is Mitchell's mum. Oh, she's great. She's on the side of Reagan. And when eventually Mitchell found out, because he asked his assistant Matthias, you know, because he tried phoning her, and they got no reply and everything else. And then he asked Matthias to find out what happened, and then Matthias found out, and he went quiet, and then he told him. And of course then obviously Mitchell felt a bit of a dick, and so he should. And you know, so he then came back 3 days later, and all of a sudden what's-her-face was all nice and well and everything, wasn't she? So, you know, it's so obvious to a certain extent that she's faking her illness just to try. And now if you're wondering why she basically Mitchell feels beholden to her, because he's under the impression that at one point she saved his life. But I'm thinking it's going to come out that it wasn't her that saved the life, because there was a hint about it at one point in one of the chapters, you know, and it was like, oh, okay. So am I in shot? No, look at this, I'm doing this away and I'm totally out of shot. What a flipping muppet. Waffling on, aren't I? And I'm just not cutting the mustard for you lot. Oh, am I? Yeah. Any rate, so where was I? Yeah, so apparently now he's found out, because obviously she hadn't been eating for about 3 days because of the funeral and mourning and stuff, and it sort of, oh dear. And she fainted. She passed out. She had anemia and all this kind of stuff. Of course, she's been pregnant, not good. And of course, she got taken to the hospital, and that's when Mitchell apparently then found out that she was pregnant, because she hadn't told him up to that point, because she was thinking, what's the point? But you see, Lauren had already found that out, and so had Tessa through Lauren, and so they were wanting to get rid of the baby, and preferably Reagan with it. And you just sort of think, oh my God. And they did try to. I mean, Reagan has been through, I don't know how much crap. First off with Mitchell, you know, the ups and downs emotionally, then dealing with morning sickness and trying to hide it, and then you know, and the emotions going backwards and forwards, up and down with Mitchell, you know. 1 minute she's trusting him, and the next minute she isn't, and the next minute he's cold and aloof again. And then Lauren is trying to, you know, first off she was playing with him, saying, oh yes, you know, he's sleeping with me and everything like that, but actually it turns out that he hasn't been. He's just there with her because he feels beholden to her because of her illness, and the fact that he's under the impression that she saved his life. So we've got that, and so you know, Lauren wants to basically marry him because ka-ching, ka-ching, he's very rich, and stuff. And so you just sort of think, oh dearie, dearie, dear. And then so yeah, he finds out, and by this point, of course, when the grandmother died, that's it. Lauren just went cold. She just stopped. She just had nothing to hold on for or be happy about. You know, her grandmother had died. He hadn't been there. He'd made his choice, basically, as far as she was concerned. And so the marriage was definitely over. You know, he buggered up. He fecked up big time. And meanwhile, I'm just there thinking, oh my God, next chapter. No! And all throughout, I mean, her friend, Nicole, she used to be the girlfriend, fiance, with this other guy called Jared. And Jared is also Mitchell's friend. And Jared is a right dick, complete dick. You know, there's three of the boys. There's Mitchell, Jared, and Lewis. Now, Lewis is the only decent one there, apparently, so far that we know. I mean, we haven't seen his flaws. He's probably got some. But anyway, yes, so Jared is a complete and utter dick. Apparently, he was fiance. Then his family had money troubles. A business endeavour went wrong or whatever, and because of that, the father and the family of Nicole, his fiance, basically left that family to it, you know, to sink. They didn't want their names and their family being dragged down with all the crap, and so the father also said they couldn't marry. And this is when Jared was actually quite nice. I think we got the impression that he was a nicer bloke. And then all this happened, and he got cut from his face for some reason. I can't remember, they said, but and so I was like, oh my God. Yeah, but he's now got a fiance called Jamie, who's a right evil little oh God, yeah. And so she's now being caught by him, and he's wanting to get even and pay her family back, because he thinks that she didn't do anything to try and help him, and she did try, but then she went out one time and then she got sick. That's right, on her way to him. She got caught in rain or whatever, because let's face it, in China and apparently all these Asian films, you know, drop of rain comes down, they've all got a fever, and they all have to go to the hospital for the fever, you know. Anyway, so she was out for the camp for 3 days, so she couldn't follow him, and because she was going to, they were going to run off together, but she couldn't do it, and stuff. So she was trying to protect it, and oh my God. So we've got so then, of course, Jared turned nasty, and now he wants vengeance sort of on her. So he's treating her really nastily, you know, beating her up and all this kind of stuff, forcing himself on her, and stuff. And of course, she's struggling because she doesn't want him to you know, get her father, because her father's now is in hospital. And yeah, so it's all tension up and down. And these blokes, you just sort of think, God, I just want to smack their heads together, because they're so alike in how they deal with things. You know, their emotions are so thick, so schoolboyishy. And then I thought, yeah, do you know what I want? I want the end of the story is to be Nicole and Reagan getting together, you know, wife and wife, and they've got a lovely little baby they're bringing up. Yep, and the boys can go, you know, go do one, can jog on, as they say. But oh my God, yeah. So yeah, so I'm on chapter 83, and I'm thinking, God, it must be coming to an end soon, you know, got to be. And so then I looked at how many chapters there were, and I went, oh fuck, I'm going to be reading this for the next 10 years. Apparently there are 2050 chapters so far. And I can't figure out where the story can go. You know, maybe another 50 chapters and they can do it. But what after that? But oh my God, why did I start reading this story? But anyway, it's called Love Unbreakable, and I found it on noveldrama.novelverify.org. And that's a bit of a long name, isn't it? But yes, so that's where it's on. And it's and brace yourself, Effie, it's a long one. Oh my God, yes. I had to go out earlier. A bit miserable out there. Not raining, but it felt like it. A little bit of sun, but I had to go out to my office to sort out bits for if I'm doing a gosh, what's it called? An indoor car booty sort of thing. Basically a tabletop sale. But I'm taking a lot of my craft stuff and like what I usually take to the de-stash groups and stuff. Oh dear. So it's going to be quite amusing, that one. Don't know how it's going to be. But yes. I don't know what's going to happen. I've got to stop reading that story tonight. Because I won't. I need to sleep tonight, so I'm on form for tomorrow. So I've just got to be. Oh dear. So that's why I'm yawning a lot today. God, that story is so funny. It's not funny, but it is funny. It's like, oh my God. And he gets so possessive of her, does Mitchell. I can't see what's going to happen now because she's finally, that's it. You know, this was the final straw. The straw that broke the camel's back when he couldn't come to her. He didn't believe her and he picked Lauren again over her. You know, and she's been through quite a lot of fights and everything, not just with him, where he's been very forceful and very sort of whatever, but with other people, you know, Lauren's plans. You know, one was a party they went to and he got all arsey with her and he got jealous basically, but he couldn't admit he was jealous, and so he was all a bit arsey. And then she got called away. She escaped from him because he was really trying to force her to you know, have it on the table in the spare bedroom, and he ripped her dress and everything else like that, and she got a bit scared, and so she ran out to find basically his mother, Luciana, who was in another one of the bedrooms resting. And as she got there was a maid standing outside the room, and she got her and said, oh yes, yes, we'll take you to go and get some new clothes. And she took her right round the back, out the house, down the side, and it was on this route that she realised, did Reagan, that, you know, this doesn't look right, this is going somewhere else. And she got into this other room and there was Tessa there, and Tessa's grandmother, who was, oh my God, evil haggis, as I say. But yeah, so then they all tried to get her, and basically wanted to get rid of the baby. Yeah, and if they got rid of her in the process. And I don't know what it is with these lot, but they do love having their arms broken. What is it with Chinese? Because in my favourite, The Untamed, they're forever chopping off left arms, left, right and centre. You know, as long as it's an arm, it's gone. And then in this story, they're forever breaking arms and breaking wrists and arms. And you're thinking, what is going on? It's either chopping it off and having done with, or it's really, you know, standing on it so it completely breaks and fractures and goodness knows shatters. And you just sort of think, what? I mean, a friend Nicole ended up in hospital because she got her hand broken, her arm, wrist broken by Jamie standing on it, I think, or Jared, one of them. And then it was like, and then there was the maids who hauled Reagan in to see the grandmother. There was a couple of maids there, and they all got their arms broken. There were some other ones, and I'm thinking, you just know it's going to happen when they say these bodyguard men come up. You go, oh yes, it's arm shattering time. Woo! Here we go. How many this time? Because I think there must have been about 7 already who's had their arms shattered. So I was thinking, why not a leg? Foot? Finger? But no. Oh dear, it's quite amusing really. Right, that one. I haven't had that one before. Oh, there it is. £8.90. Bit of a, oh, it's green, so that's all right. Well, I mean, obviously. I thought it was one of these going to be these horrible grey jobs. You know, black, green. What am I doing? I'm doing that one. Try to get my eyesight worked. My eyesight's going all a bit funny. It's because I'm tired. But yeah, oh my God. Yes. Again, I will tell you, it's called, what's it called? It is called Love Unbreakable. I'm itching to hurry up and do this bit and so that I can get back to reading it. Oh dear. It is so funny. Oh. I don't know how they're going to get round this bit now though, because she's well upset and she's just, you know, in a trance mode and just, that's it. She stopped caring, she stopped feeling. She, you know, she just wants this divorce over and done with now. But they're fighting back, and because he now knows about the baby and it being family and all that kind of shit, they're you know, she's there trying to, he doesn't want the divorce because he wants the baby and everything else. And of course she's now thinking, oh, he only wants that because of he doesn't want her, he just wants the baby because it's, you know, following on the family line, which you can understand, you know, why she'd think that, because that is what say is, you know, quite important over in Asia, being filial and continuing the family line. And especially if you're loaded, you sort of marry into other rich families and go on that way. So yeah, so she's there saying, you know, you do, and she was daft. She told him, because he says, you just want this baby, you just want to take this baby away from me, and I won't, you know, I won't let that happen. And then she said, well, I'll just abort it then if you don't go through with the divorce. Of course that got his head. I mean, she was there saying to the baby inside, she was there saying, whispering in her head, you know, saying, don't worry baby, I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to do that. Oh, I've put it away and I've just found one. My eyes cleared at that moment and I spotted it. What a doodah, as they say. Right, so yeah. So I reckon you should go on and, yes, and start reading it. I know, I know, 2050 chapters. Whoever makes it to the end first gets a medal for endurance. But it's going to be... I'm half tempted. I want to go to chapter 250. And I really want it to be ending. I don't want it to be, you know, ongoing too much, because I think, hey, you're going to run out of storyline. And there's only so much angst you can go on, because we've had it basically, you know, standard classic and stuff. So it's, you just, yeah, very tempted to go to chapter 250 and see what gives on that one, and see if it's worth me reading on anymore. But I will read on for a bit. Oh dear. Oh yeah, because she was working, because he didn't want her to work, but she insisted, and so he got her a job. You know, he created a job at his workspace for an assistant secretary. So she was his assistant secretary, and of course when it was all kicking off, I mean, it was weird because he didn't have any other women, you know, people in that inner office sort of thing, you know, close. They were all men usually, but she was the exception. And so he what did he do? He so when they were first talking of divorcing, and that she'd had enough and all this kind of stuff, and she knew she'd have to get a different job, Henley, this other chap who they used to go out with at school, but you know, she doesn't like him that way now, you know, but he apparently harbours some romantic feelings for her. But you know, she just loves, she's had a 10-year liking with Mitchell before she got together with him. So so you know, so 10 years and he fecked it up, and it's, you know, she's just stopped loving him. He really did bad. But anyway, Henley had gotten her another job, or said, well, you know, I haven't got you a job, you know, you've got to go and do the interview. It's with this person in this studio, and it was like animation type thing, I think, and so artist and all this kind of stuff, and so, which apparently she was pretty good at. And she went for the interview, and it turned out it was Henley's cousin, something like that, and they gave her the job, and she said, oh, she'll start in you know, a month's time, so it'd be the middle of the next month. Well, we hear nothing more about that job. That job is like gone, and you're just sort of thinking, hold on a minute, when's she supposed to be starting the job? And then all of a sudden we've got Lauren starting working at Dixon, the Dixon Group, which is Mitchell's company, and that peed off what's her face, Reagan. It's just, oh, goes on and on and on and on and on. Right, what am I looking at? Let's do the bows, because they look easy. Because I tell you what, some of these symbols are flipping awful to see, especially the ones in the blue with the black. You can't tell what they are. You have to get right up, down and personal with them. But yeah. Oh wow, it's so funny. And there's quite a few other times as well where you just sort of think, oh, you know what's going to happen. And then, yeah. I mean, it's obvious, you know, it's not going to be enders that quick. I mean, we've got 250 chapters for, no, not 250, 2050 chapters, you know. So, we're going to have Reagan and Dexter still together at some point, perhaps off and on and, you know, whatever. And with a bit of luck, Lauren and Tessa will get their bloody comeuppance. Oh, and there was a bizarre incident halfway through. Before the grandmother died, it was coming up for her birthday or whatever it was. And her son, I think it was her son, which was Reagan's uncle. Because when Reagan's dad died, she went and lived with her grandmother, because that was the only other relative that she had. And her uncle turned up, and her uncle kept saying, oh, you know, give us some money. I hear you married this rich bloke, you know, give us some money. But first off, he was there before he started doing all that. He was trying to smear and get his mother, the grandmother, to eat this cake, and he was smearing it all over her face and demanding that she eat it. And of course, she was a frail old lady, and she was like not having it. She wasn't, you know, being bullied and everything else like that. And of course, Reagan comes in, sees it, and stops. You know, tries to stop it, and yeah, so he then tries to blackmail this other bloke who's passing. Heard all the commotion, and he came in with his gangster chums, and it turns out his name is Hector Dixon. He's the uncle of Mitchell. Small bloody world, isn't it? You know, they're all in hospital. Kyler is Mitchell's grandpa, and he's in the hospital because he nearly had a heart attack, or he did have a heart attack, and he's in hospital. And he always liked Reagan. He didn't like Lauren. Not a lot of them did like Lauren, apparently. And so yeah. Oh, I've lost out where I was now. Lost track. But oh yeah, and he was there doing that, and he was like, he reminded me of a Whiplash Wang. He was out anything to get money for, you know. Lauren apparently threw something at him or smacked him around the head, and it cut his head, and he was there trying to say, oh, I want some money off you. And he knew that Lauren was with had a wealthy boyfriend. Didn't realise he was a husband though. A wealthy boyfriend. And then when Hector turned up, he assumed that Hector was the boyfriend, and he started demanding £1 million off him, or dollars off of him. And it was like, you know, oh well, you won't be able to marry her without it. And then trying to say, oh yes, and I'll sell her for you know, for money for some people. And you just thought that, you know, that's a kind of a Yakuza thing, isn't it? Chinese, Japanese, whatever, you know. Some don't think really at all for their children, the girls especially, you know, traffic them as soon as look at them. You know, that's perhaps where the saying comes on, sell your granny as soon as look at them, because they would. But yes, so it's we had that. He ended up in going, the police got him, and it's just like you're sort of thinking, where's this going? This girl, oh my God, everything's around, you know, happening around her. And oh yeah, and when she goes to the police station with Hector and the uncle, because the uncle gets arrested, and they have to go to the police station to you know, file the report or whatever it is, and there's a witness, as in Hector, and go there. Suddenly this copper comes up and says, oh yes, I used to be at this such and such a police station when her father got killed, and apparently or got run over or something like that. And so you find out a little bit more from her about what happened to her dad, and you think, okay, so her dad got killed. Flipping heck, this is getting all more and more sort of whatevered. And then you try to think, well, who ran him over? I wonder who killed him. And they'd been trying to find out who'd been killing him, and so now he's got her number, because the policeman asked for the number. So there's going to be another one that can come up, because she might have that saved as, because apparently they used to go to school or something as well, I think, I'm not sure, can't remember. But you know, I can just imagine that being another argument and a big het-up one over Mitchell's jealousy. Who's this character? Because we've had it over Henley. And we've also had it over the uncle, saying she's my wife, you know. And he says, yes, for now. And you sort of think, oh, God. No. Oh. More exciting than flipping EastEnders and Coronation Street put together. I hate those ones, but, you know, if you like Coronation Street and EastEnders, that's fine. For me, I just don't. Oh, I used to watch EastEnders right at the very beginning when it first started off. I remember watching the very first episode when we had Lofty. And Michelle was always got pregnant and they didn't know who the father was, and then it turned out to be Dirty Den. And you just sort of thought, oh, I'm going to put that there. Yeah, so it's where are we now? I think I've done all those, and if I haven't, I can I bet you were shouting at me. That one up there. Get that one up there. Yeah, I can't wait to read the next little bit. Where are we on now? Only 41. Oh my God. Got to finish this. Try and finish this. And then I can read on. Whoop, whoop, whoop. That one. Oh dear. Oh, there comes the sun again now. God, it was cold last night. I was toying up with putting the heating on. I really was. I was like, oh, and then I thought, no, don't be daft. Don't put the heating on. Just put your fleece, your hoodie on, your hoodie. Because my daughter and her husband got me an hoodie for Christmas. And tell you what, it's the best hoodie out. It is so warm. I have to fight the cat for it though. Oh dear. Oh, I want to read. I want to read. Title of chapter 83. It's weird how they put it, how they do the title, because the title's intermingled in. So it says, Lauren's little favour, Lauren's little favour. Mitchell paused for a brief moment and said. So you've got to then work out which is the sort of the name of the title. And it's always, you know, Lauren's little favour is going to be it. Now I'm wondering what the flipping favour is she's doing. Mitchell paused for a brief moment and said, Lauren was in the hospital at that time. How could she be possibly behind this? Reagan let out a derisive snort. See, your promises are empty. Mitchell's trust in Lauren was unconditional. Even when she said Lauren might be involved, Mitchell's first reaction was not to dig deeper, but to jump to Lauren's defence. Reagan, I understand it's tough losing your grandma, but don't read too much into things. If it makes you feel better, I'll make sure Tessa will learn a lesson. Not wanting to hear another word from him, Reagan dismissively said, You may leave now, Mr. Dixon. What was she thinking? To him, her grandmother's death was nothing serious, while Lauren was the centre of his universe. How dare she think that she would one day replace Lauren and become Mitchell's one and only? When Mitchell saw her sardonic smile, his heart skipped a beat. He felt that something important was slipping from his grasp. In a surge of panic, he pulled Reagan into a tight embrace. Despite her refusal, Reagan, I promised to try my best to win your heart back. Just give me some time. Reagan tried to wriggle free, but upon realising it was pointless, she eventually gave up. Mitchell, let me go. A divorce is best for both of us, she said with a poker face. No way. I can't live without you, he shot back without hesitation. I'll never agree with this divorce. Don't even think about it. Reagan was so livid she burst into laughter. So you want to play as a good husband while you're having an affair with another woman? Is that what you want, Mr. Dixon? Mitchell frowned. But just as she was about to speak, Reagan shoved him away. I'm telling you, I'm determined with this divorce. For the sake of the Dixon group, you'd best go through with with the through the procedure with me. Otherwise, Regan paused for a few seconds and continued with a straight face. I will file a lawsuit for the divorce. She was dead set on putting an end to their marriage. For sure, a divorce scandal involving the CEO of the Dixon Group would light up the tabloids. Mitchell's face darkened and he protested. Regan, don't you care about Kyla at all? Kyla, the grandfather. It would be a heavy blow for Kyla if he found out that he and Regan would go to court for the divorce. Regan did not want to let Kyla down, but she was banking on Mitchell not wanting to ruffle those feathers. She would pay to see who would compromise first. You're the one who forced me into doing so, she fired back. At that moment, Regan seemed like a complete stranger to Mitchell. She had really turned this. Had she really turned this cold? Why did she hate him so much? Regardless, Mitchell had no intention of letting either Regan or their baby go, and he wouldn't let her have any fantasy that she could run away from him. Fine. Just try and find a law firm that will take over your divorce case. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. I just want you to take care of yourself and the baby. That child will grow up to be a Dixon, because there's zero chance I'm divorcing you. Regan's heart sank. How could she forget that Mitchell was a big shot here in Ardlands? Sure, in a high-profile divorce would be the talk of the town, but Mitchell could snap his fingers and make law firms steer clear of the divorce case. At the thought of this, Regan fell into despair. She assumed Mitchell's resistance to divorce was not because he loved her, it's about legacy. Even if they did divorce, one day she would not be taking the child with her. Regan clenched her fists and spat out. So you're clinging to this marriage just for the baby, huh? Mitchell stared at Regan with a cold, piercing gaze and sensed that something was off. He's only just now sensing something's off. Oh, see what I mean? He's so thick, isn't he? With a scoff, Regan bit her lower lip and dropped a bomb. If you don't agree on the divorce, I'll get an abortion. After saying these words, she silently reassured the tiny little life inside her. My baby, I would never abandon you. I'm just in so much pain. I need to get away from your father. You understand, right? In that instant, Mitchell's eyes blazed with fury and he bellowed, How dare you? I won't let you control me anymore. This is my baby and you don't really have a choice here. Regan was resolute in divorcing Mitchell, no matter what it took. She was setting herself up for heartbreak when she loved a man who always put her second fiddle. She did not want to get hurt again. With his eyes ablaze with anger, Mitchell for, I don't know. I think that's supposed to be lunge, but it's spelt L-H-M-G-E-D. You have to guess a few some of these words. Lunged forwards and grabbed Regan's wrist. I've told you before, Regan, I'm not letting you go. Not now. Never. Outside the ward, the basket of fruit in her hand, Lauren trembled with anger. It was one thing that her plot with Tessa of getting rid of Regan's baby had tanked. But now Mitchell knew the existence of the baby. It had not been easy to keep Mitchell by her side for 3 days, but when Mitchell heard Regan was in hospital, he could not wait to fly back. Yeah, so today when she learned Regan was in the hospital, Lauren made a special trip here with the sole intent of getting under Regan's skin. However, she did not expect to overhear Mitchell and Regan's conversation. Why did Mitchell refuse to divorce Regan? As that was not bad enough, Regan seemed to suspect her. Lauren was boiling over. In a fit of anger, she chucked the fruit basket into a nearby trash can. Oh, yeah, she's got a temper on her, this one, and was about to storm off. However, Jocelyn stopped her. Jocelyn is her nanny, who sort of was with her all growing up, and she's always treated like Lauren's her daughter, but it's not, rich people and all this kind of stuff, isn't it? However, Jocelyn stopped her. Leaving so soon? Why should I stay to watch Mitchell decline the divorce with that bitch? Lauren retorted, her eyes red with jealousy and resentment. I want to just rip that bitch to shreds. Jocelyn. Laura did not have to say the name of that bitch for Jocelyn to know. Calm down, my lady. I have idea of how to deal with that woman. Jocelyn assured her. You do? Do you remember Mitchell's stay in the branch office in Swineborough a few months back? He came to visit you once or twice during that period. Lauren nodded. She remembered those hurried visits all too well. Mitchell was very busy. Therefore, he was always rushing, never lingering long. Jocelyn's eyes gleamed with sinister, and she explained, so if we made Mitchell get the wrong idea that Regan got pregnant during that time, what do you think Mitchell's first thought would be? A smirk crept across Lauren's face. Mitchell would undoubtedly think Regan had been unfaithful. And it goes on. Well, I'm not reading any more of that. If you want to read it yourselves, you're more than welcome. Remember, it's called, what was it called again? I can't remember. I'll tell you at the end. You probably already know. But yes, so, oh dear. Quite amusing. It's obviously one of these, like, you know, fiction not fan fiction as such, but those fiction stories, you know, made by people. Obviously made by people. God. Oh, right. Right. What was I doing even? Oh, I've done all that one. Oh my God. Oh, God's sakes. I don't even recall doing that one. All of a sudden it's done. Right, I'm going to do with the anchors and think of the boys in the living story. Yes. Just add a W onto the front of the word, what it is. Right. But yes, it is. It is so. Oh my God. So now we're left thinking, oh God, what's she planning now? And what's that going to go down? There's going to be another row or something, but I don't know how it's going to be a row. How's it going to make... I suppose it would make him not be so... want to be with Regan if he realises that, or if he thinks that the baby is not his. He's got such a temper. He's very possessive and very jealous. And he's only just found out that he gets jealous, and he's jealous of her because he didn't realise that he actually had fallen in love with her. So he was oblivious to all that because it was like a marriage of sort of convenience just to, you know, shut his grandfather up because his grandfather said you get married or something. I can't remember what the ultimatum was. And so they had a agreement, those two, but she'd already loved him for 10 years beforehand, so she thought she was making an easy decision. You know, what great way to be with the guy that she's, you know, infatuated and loved for over 10 years or whatever it was. But he was indifferent to her because he was all for Lauren, but not Lauren for what she was thinking, or what Regan was thinking, or whatever. You know, he just felt indebted. And I still want to know who was the one that that really rescued him, and rescued him from what? Because I can't remember. I must have mentioned that because it just mentioned briefly saving his life, and I'm just trying to think, well, saving his life or saving him from an arm breaking. Sorry. Oh my God. Oh dear. I don't know. Quite a giggle, really. So should get me dinner, really. Made a pack of Korean pork crisps. Oh my God, I blooming love that. I'm making the most while I can. Oh, I had a curry. I had a curry from the local Indian restaurant, and normally I've had them before and they've been absolutely fine, you know. And I think they've changed some of the part of the recipe or something, because last night I was up with my stomach. Oh, it was bad. It was so bad. So perhaps that's why I didn't sleep all very long. And then I was out cold for an hour because I was, yeah. Oh, it was horrible. And of course, every time I kept thinking, oh, I'll have some Gaviscon. I'll have some Gaviscon. See if that helps. And I never got around to it. Because then I had to move. If I moved, then my tummy hurt even more at certain places. And then I had, because I'd have to sit up. And always around the Gaviscon or whatever, you know, even if you have the Gaviscon Advance or the generic one, whatever way, when you go and unscrew the lid, there's always a crust around the edges, and then that just crumbles where you are. So you know, if you're doing it in bed, you're sleeping then with lots of crumbly pieces of flipping Gaviscon Advance all over you. You just sort of think, oh, so I couldn't be bothered to deal with that. I really couldn't. I like tomorrow's a good day at the indoor car booty. No, I did brilliantly the first one, but it wasn't a car booty, that one. That one did for the Craft D stash, I did brilliantly. But this time, then the second one, well, I made my money back and a bit. So I went from like 99 quid one time, the first one, to then, I think it was something like 26 quid. And then it was, and then we've got the indoor car booty. So I'm hoping it's not going down, it'll go back up again. Oh, I've got to sort out this furniture at the unit, at the office. Oh, I've got to blim well put it up, and I really, yeah. Right, where are we on now? Oh God, let's do these ones. The little pawn balls, as I always think they look like, you know, the pawn shop balls. Not the pawn as in P-O-R-N. I'm talking about the P-A-W-N. But yes, it's... I'm hoping I'm doing these right because my eyesight is not that hot. And these certain I think if they had been white on, you know, the blue background, the symbol had been white, I think we'd have been a lot better. But well. Oh yeah. When I went around the shop earlier, I thought I'd better get a few bits for the, you know, to have while I'm at the sale thing tomorrow. And then I remembered, oh, I haven't got any bloody change. So then I withdrew some money out of the bank. And then I went in, and when I go in Tesco's, I always quite like to use their scanner thing because it's a lot easier that way. You can just put the shopping away as you do it. And but I couldn't do that this time because I needed to break down these 20 quid notes for some change. So that was interesting. So that means tomorrow, I don't think I'm going to get 2 of these done tonight. So tomorrow I'm going to be tired and I'll be doing another filming in the afternoon when I come back. But it might only be a small one. But yeah, but I can then say how well I did at the, or how crap I did at the sale thing. the devil's own job trying to drag all the bits down that I needed from the unit. It's high floor. It's just, oh God. It's just so... 2 flights of stairs, but they're not like 2 flights. They're like, each flight is made up of 2 sections of stairs. So I've got like 4 little flights, even though it's only on 2 levels. But, well, I hope I'm not covering up a different symbol. Don't think I am. Oh, come on. Yeah. Well, wait and see and hear from this diabetes diet pathway to remission, or whatever it is. Shakes. Oh my God, how am I going to cope? It's 4 shakes, 2 soups, and that's all you eat for 12 weeks. But they're all nutritionally balanced and everything else. And they're gluten-free. So that's something. I don't know how you're supposed to make them up, because I mean they say add water, but I don't know how that can be for the shakes. But I'd be having it with not milk. I'd be having it, if I did, I'd have them with my no, what is it, lactose free stuff. I think I've got them all. Right, and if I haven't, I'll come back today. But it's going to make me a saving. So I'm going to use that money that I save to try and get some more of my debts down. Because I mean, 3 months worth of really minimum food, like I just need milk. Because everything else is free, I should be able to do a bit of a saving. Right, wavy lines, wavy lines. Got them. Oh, I keep thinking back to that story. What is going to happen? What is plan? What's the face planning? And Nicole, poor Nicole with her broken wrist. She hasn't told Reagan yet. She's in the hospital. And Reagan, well, she's been a little bit... And I mean, Nicole is her best friend. So Reagan's been going through all this, yes, but you would have thought she'd have phoned up her best friend and asked about her, wouldn't you? And say, you know, my grandmother's died and can you come? And you would have thought for the best friend she would have been there. But, nope. The only people were there were Luciana Mitchell, who spent a lot of the time outside the church in the pouring rain, kneeling down, seeking forgiveness. Then there was Tessa and Kendra. Kendra is Tessa's mother. And, and Hector, the nice chap who saved everything. He turned up briefly, and then he went. He knew when to leave. And his passing shot to to Mitchell, you know, saying, she's my wife, you know, and he says, for now. Oh yes. But well, he's got a secret, because he really likes somebody, but he can't find her. And it's all like, oh my God, each of them will have their offshoots. I mean, the second I saw the chapter titled Hector Dixon, I went, oh my God, it's a relative. It's a relative. Here we go again. Oh dear. But well, what am I doing? Apart from laughing. Okay. I think tomorrow I might pull out a Paint Gem Mini. Oh look, there's a couple more of those ones I missed. Blast. Yes, I might pull out some Paint Gem Minis. And we'll see. Okay, oh there's a K. Now is that all the case? Yes. M-Y-A. M-Y-A-D. And little n. Right. I'm going to get those two done because I can pot dip, hopefully, on there. Now, are there any more of these while I'm here? Nope. Right. Let's have one of these. I think there's a couple in here, so we just pot dip for these. One. So only two of those. I think there was. Yes, only two of those. Let's have, no, it's not that one, it's those like cigar shape weird thing. Where is it? Like a crystal, actually. All right, well, there's one of these. I'll have this because I know I've got a couple of these. One. Two. Buckle my shoe. Is that all? That is all. Now I need an N. Oh. Then I want the tent. TP Wigwam. Oops. Oops, sorry. Sorry, folks. Sorry, folks. This one. What's this one? The musical notes. Gosh, yes, I'm sort of not looking forward to the diet because let's face it, diets usually just don't work. I mean, well, they work for the moment that you're doing them, but then you're back to square one again. But if it helps my back, then I'll give it a whirl. And if it helps me stay in remission, I shall be a happy bunster. Right. Oh, look, I missed 3 of those flipping C ones. Why? Why did I see them? Right. Come on. Oh, look, some more of those. Weird how you can miss them, isn't it? Right. That's that. Now we've got one of these. is question mark. Is there any more question marks? Are there any more question marks even? Oh, yep. Right, now I need an 8. Come on. 8. Any more? Nope. I'm going to have an A. I'll have a P, please, Bob. If anybody remembers Blockbuster. Is it Blockbusters or? I don't know. What was it? It was something. Can't remember. 1. I hate it when you get to these ones where they're just sort of 1 or 2, you know. I just think, but like the pot always 3 million times over. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's take that out. Take all the fluffy bits out. Whatever it's called. That stuff. Right. Camping, camp, wigwam, TP. I do want one of these. Upside down. Oh, it's because I got 2, like. One on top of the other. Can't be doing that, can I? Right, then is that an at? I think that's an at. Yes, it's an at. Yeah, it's an at. Well, let's do the hash. Hashish. Maybe not. Where are you, hashish? Hash. One. We are getting there. And the quicker I can get this done, the quicker I can actually go upstairs to my bed. That's what I'm going to do. I go upstairs to my bed, I'm going to read. Come on. Which one's this now? Oh, it's that one. Come on. God, she is like. Sometimes pot dipping goes a bit mental. Then you can't do it. You can when there's a few in the pot. Oh, sorry. But when there's a lot in the pot, no way. Are there any of them? No. Right. One of those. One of those. So if anybody does start reading that, please let me know. D. A D, a D, a D, a D. Gotcha. And there you go. And then we want a Y. Yeah. Oh, come on. So nearly there. Right, so the rest are little arrow things, but I still need the campfire, which is there. Right, and now the last one, which is the weird arrow. There it is. 3848. I'll put some in a tray because I need a few. Oh my god, oh my god. Down, down, down. Oh, that's it. Okay. Let's see if I can go back in the tray. Uncouth little member of the drill party. Right, there we go. Another bit section done. Yes. Right. So on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you, and I will see you very soon in the next one. I'm going to get back to that story. Yay!